I only have a few minutes left with you before you're getting on that plane, and I don't want the producers of Kong to get mad at me. So, I do want you to talk a couple of minutes about that extraordinary movie. And you did actually shoot that in a 10 by 10 space, that first half of that film, right?
Yeah. And we shot in chronological order. So the first half of the movie was shot all in room, which was incredible. Jacob and I had about 3 weeks before we went into that space, before we started shooting, where we were able to build the toys and do the drawings that were on the wall and really get accustomed to that space. And then as we shot in order, we were able to slowly discover what the movie was and what the issues were and how we were going to deal with it texturally and emotionally. And it made everything feel so seamless and honest. So even feeling the confines of that small room and dealing with the whole camera crew in this space that is the idea is that it's small for 2 people, and so it's really small with 8 people. So by the time, I think it was 5 weeks of us shooting in room, that by the time we hit the end of that, we were just itching to get out, and you could feel this energy from the crew that was like, Brie, get us out of here, take us home. And then feeling this anticlimactic sense when we were outside of room and outside of this soundstage and into the cold of Toronto, and dealing with factors that were so much more complicated than when we were in the soundstage and in room. And very quickly, everybody, including the crew, was like, I wish we were back in room, which was exactly what we were hoping for, was the idea of the dynamic of growing up and needing to move beyond and outside of your small world. That's what growing up is. And you see it happening through Jack's eyes, but you don't expect to see it through my character's eyes, because you think, well, she's an adult and she'll be able to go back into the world. But it never stops. As we get older, as time goes on, we're always going into bigger and bigger rooms.
Yeah, and you actually lost 15 pounds and stayed out of the sun, and to look like somebody that had been basically captive there for all that time, right?
Yeah, it was a 28-pound conversion is what they call it, because I gained muscle and lost fat. So in all, it was like 28 pounds of difference within my body, which really helped me with the character, was gaining all of that muscle. It really changed who I was, how I carried my body, and this like rage/strength that I had through the film, and even simple things like the amount that I carry Jacob, who plays Jack, the amount that I carry him in this movie. You just don't think about it. You know, one little scene of me carrying him through a hospital means a day of carrying him, and all of those things sort of came into play of learning how to lift weights, doing all of these things to really tear down my body, being on a restrictive diet, staying out of the sunlight for 6 months. I decided to devote myself to getting closer to her, and I tried not leaving the house for like a month. And I did all these things to try and understand her perspective better and live sort of a monkish lifestyle by denying myself some of these like normal pleasures that we're used to having. And it was wonderful. It was so great. And I am so lucky to have worked with Lenny and to work with Jacob and to work with Emma. These are people that I just love so much, that are family to me, and we really created something that I think is really beautiful.
Well, it's an amazing performance, and Jacob Tremblay, who's the 9-year-old, 9 now, was 7 then, extraordinary with you. And that is why the Santa Barbara International Film Festival, I'm so excited I get to present this, has voted you one of the outstanding performers of the year. Well-deserved, Brie Larson. And
thank you.
This is the award, and if you want it, email me.
But
you now have exactly 45 seconds to accept it, just like you will on the Oscars should you win there.
Is that true? Are you going to give me 45 seconds? I'll do it.
So, what does this mean to you, this award? This is great. Outstanding performer.
I feel emotional, and it's weird because I'm not there with you, but I do feel like I'm there. 20 years is a long time. That's most of my life, and I really feel like the arts are this incredible way to connect with the world, and it's been the way that I've been able to share some of the vulnerabilities and fears that I've had about being a human with the world. And the incredible thing about Room in particular is how many people have seen it, how many conversations that I've had, and I'm sad to see this era of my life come to a close. And so moments like this are so incredibly valuable to me, because this trophy I will have and will be able to look at and remember this period of time of taking a second to sit down with all of you and reflect on the work that I've done over the last couple of years is absolutely incredible. Making movies is like being in a little vacuum, and you never know if these things that are very personal to you mean anything to anybody else. And I've just found this whole award season process, besides just like winning the awards, but just the process of being around people, meeting people, and having conversations to be so incredibly life-affirming and exciting. And it makes me really interested in doing more and digging in deeper and continuing to have these conversations.
Well, thank you so much. You so deserve it.
Thank you.
And best of luck on everything you're doing. Say hi to Kong for us. Go hit that plane. And thank you so much for coming to Santa Barbara Film
Thank you
Festival.
so much. And Saoirse, I love you. I wish I could be there. To all of you that get to be there with her, you're the luckiest people. She's the best.
Yes. Thanks, Brie Larson.